What is up, collective? Welcome back if you're joining me again. If you are new and this is your first episode, wow, what an episode to start with. I'm Nina. I'm the host of the Collective Culture podcast. So today, guys, I don't even know how I even want to begin this. This is something that I have been trying to drill into everybody's heads, I think, since September of 2020 when I started this show. And then the other day, I was speaking to a friend and I was like, all these things that I say, how can I get through and it sticks, right? Because, I do the episodes and people are like, you're right, you're helping, blah, 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 but it doesn't stick, right? It doesn't stick. And then I thought about before I started doing this episode, I'm like, how can I make it stick, right? The thing is, I haven't figured that out yet. If I'm gonna be real honest with you, I have not figured that out yet. So today, though, I'm gonna put this into perspective. Okay. Obviously, my episodes are geared towards, showing you guys how I look at stuff and, where I come from. But today I want to explore the art of living intentionally, right? And meaningfully. Because in a world that often pulls us in 100 directions, we have to kind of stay on the ride. And that's, based on the title of this episode, living life like your life depends on it. Because we don't, guys, unless our life depends on it, we don't. So I want to start by asking you this question. Are you truly living or are you just existing? I've probably asked this before. I know I've done episodes about this a million times. I've said this a million times. But look, it's a heavy question, all right? But it is definitely worth asking and asking multiple times if need be. Too often we find ourselves going through the motions, right? We just go, we live, and we're really not being present. And here's the kicker though humans by nature seem to change only or truly live unless something forces us to. It's like we need a threat, a shakeup, or a life altering moment to realize that time is finite and we're wasting it. But what if we didn't wait for for life to threaten us to start living with intention? What if, guys, right? What if? I've been talking a lot about best case scenarios, like what if it's the best case scenario instead of the worst case scenario? And this goes right along with that, right? Living intentionally. So in this episode, I'm going to explore why we fall into these patterns of just existing and how maybe we can recognize the behaviors keeping us stuck and actionable steps to modify these behaviors and create a life that we want to fight to protect. And today, as always, I'm going to add a meditation at the end to stay present. So if you find yourself kind of veering off, come back to this episode, get yourself a reminder. That's what all my episodes really are geared towards, is a reminder of living, right? So let's start with the basics, okay? Why do we just exist? Have you ever noticed how most of us start living with real intention only after we've faced a threat to our existence, right? Like a health scare, the loss of a loved one, a breakup, maybe even a near death experience. These moments have a way of jolting us awake, reminding us that the, fragility and the preciousness of our life. And this is so on point for me. I had, maybe not a life um like life or death health scare, but I had a health scare nonetheless, and it woke me the fuck up for sure. So, but why do we wait? Why did I wait? Why do we wait for these wake up calls? It's often because we are wired to seek comfort and avoid risk. Survival instincts prioritize routine because routine feels what? Safe. And let's be honest for a moment here, comfort zones are, well, comfortable. But here's the catch, guys. Comfort zones are also where dreams go to die. They keep us in cycles of mediocrity, numbing ourselves with distractions like Netflix or scrolling or chasing temporary highs instead of really meaningful growth. Psychologists have a term for this. It's called learned helplessness. When we feel stuck, overwhelmed, or powerless for long enough, we stop believing we can change, even when, of course, we can. We tell ourselves, this is just the way life is. This is just how I am. But here's the truth. You were not born to just exist, obviously. So let's recognize the behaviors that keep us stuck, all right? Because they're common in most of us. So how do we figure this out? How do we figure out what is holding us back? It starts with radical honesty. So this is going to be a lot of questions, guys, asking to ask yourself. So you're going to be doing this with me, all right? So I want you to take a moment, reflect on your daily life, all right? Are you staying in a job, a relationship, or an environment that drains you simply because it feels easier than taking a risk? That's question one. Question two, are you procrastinating on your dreams, telling yourself you'll start when the time is right? And then finally, are you numbing yourself with distractions instead of addressing the things that are really bothering you? Here's a tough pill to swallow. These behaviors may feel harmless, but they're costing you your life. So every time you choose comfort over growth, routine over risk, or fear over action, you're putting off truly living. And look, don't get me wrong, okay? It's not about being productive 24/7, chasing dreams, or dramatic changes. It's about making choices, though, that align with the kind of life that you want to live. Because, yes, it is that simple to choose that. So, next, I want to talk about how we can modify some of these behaviors to truly live. So, now that we've identified the patterns that are keeping us maybe stuck, let's talk about how we can change them. And listen, this isn't about perfection, guys. It's about progress. So, not perfection, progress. So, one, get clear on what matters. So, again, ask yourself, what would my life look like if I truly lived it? If my life really depended on it, right? If you had a gun to your head, right? And it's like the universe saying, your life depends on it if you don't start living right now. What are you going to start doing? What's the first thing that you're going to start doing? What would you stop tolerating? What would you start pursuing? Write it down. Create a vision so clear that it motivates you to move forward even when it's hard. See, and that's the thing is we do all this stuff. We do the vision boards, we do all this shit, but we still stay stuck. So number two, you have to embrace the discomfort. Yep. Yep, it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be uncomfortable. But would you rather stay where you're at, where you claim to be comfortable, right? Because growth does not happen in your comfort zone. Start small, though. Do one thing every day that scares you. Maybe it's speaking up at a meeting, right? Setting a boundary or taking the first step towards a dream you've been putting off. But remember, fear is often a sign that you're on the edge of something great. I'm experiencing that right now, guys, and I've been telling you guys on these episodes lately, I've been living life day by day, and it's been glorious. So, number three, break the autopilot cycle or cycles. If you're stuck in a loop of mindless routines, shake shit up. Change your morning routine, take a different route, maybe to work, say yes to something you'd usually say no to, or vice versa. Because these small disruptions can spark new perspective. Number four, practice gratitude and presence. One of the simplest ways, guys, to feel alive is to notice life. Start a gratitude practice. Be present with your loved ones. Watch the sunset without checking your phone. The more you practice presence, the more you'll realize how much life is happening around you. And just recently, there was an anniversary of a friend that passed away, and he lived life like his life depended on it. He did. He didn't think about the consequences all the time. And when you lose somebody's presence like that, you go back to your old fucking ways, right? And I know for him, he would not want me or anyone he cares about to live like that. So, number 5, set non negotiables. Decide what you're no longer willing to tolerate in your life. Maybe it's a toxic relationship, unhealthy habits, or negative self talk. But you have to, guys, you have to draw that line in the sand and stick to it. You have to do it. Okay. You have to draw that line. Number 6, act as if your life depends on it. Yeah, that's severe because it is. And it does depend on it. Your time, your energy, the choices that you make are finite resources. Treat them like they matter because they do. Living intentionally has to start right now. You can't put it off till February 1st or March 1st or on your birthday. It has to start right now. Because here's the thing, you don't need a life or death situation to wake you the fuck up. You don't need permission, and you definitely don't need a perfect plan. What you do need is the courage, though, to decide, I'm done. I'm done just existing. Again, guys, start small, but start today. Whenever you hear this, start with the belief that your life is worth fighting for, worth living fully, and worth loving deeply. I'm getting choked up. Okay, I'm getting choked up. And if you're listening to this and thinking, I don't know if I can do this alone, know that you're not alone. We literally are all going through this. Every single human is going through this. So figuring it out one step at a time is the way to go. And if this is helping you, if it's fucking waking you up just listening to me, share the shit. Share the shit. So I want to do this meditation because I feel like being present is going to help you so much with this. So before we end this episode, I'm going to guide you through, it's going to be a short meditation, all right, to help you practice being present. Because when you live like your life depends on it, it starts with showing up for the moment, for this moment. So whenever you are or wherever you are, take a moment to pause, okay? If you're driving or moving, you can simply listen and come back to this meditation when you can fully focus on it. But let's begin. So close your eyes if it feels safe to do so, and take a deep breath in through your nose and slowly exhale through your mouth. Let's do this again. Breathe deeply in, feeling your chest rise, and then exhaling completely, letting go any tension and feeling it melt away. Now, I want you to bring your attention to where you are. Feel the surfaces beneath you, whether it's a chair, the ground, or a bed. Notice how it is supporting you. Take another deep breath in, and as you exhale, allow yourself to settle in this moment. Bring your awareness to your body. Start at the top of your head and slowly scan down. Notice any sensations in your face, your neck, your shoulders. If you're holding tension, simply acknowledge it and let it soften with each breath. Move your awareness to your chest now. Feel the rhythm of your breath. Notice how your body moves naturally to support you, moment by moment. Now shift your focus to your hands. Are they resting in your lap or by your side? Pay attention to the textures of whatever they're touching. No judgment, just noticing. Bring your awareness to your feet. Feel them grounded, whether they're touching the floor or resting comfortably. But imagine roots growing from them, anchoring you to this moment. Now take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, let your mind become quiet. If a thought arises, that's okay. Just notice it and gently bring your attention back to your breath. With each inhale, imagine breathing in presence, clarity, and calm. And with each exhale, release any distractions, stress, or worry. At this moment, remind you that life is happening now, not yesterday, not tomorrow, right here in this breath. When you're ready, gently wiggle your fingers and your toes, bringing awareness back to your body. Take one more deep, grounding breath. And when it feels right, exhale and slowly open your eyes. You just gave yourself the gift of presence, and that's where truly living begins. So thank you as always for joining me in this meditation. And remember, you can return to this practice anytime you feel overwhelmed or disconnected. And until next time, take care of your mind, your body, and your soul, because it deserves it. Ciao.